but coverage you can count on. It's the Emmy Award-winning K-Fox 14 News at 6.
K-Fox 14 sends crews across El Paso as powerful thunderstorms hit the city hard. Good evening, I'm John Purvis.
And I'm Stephanie Guadian in for Hema Mueller. First on Fox this evening, high winds blow a roof off at least one home. K-Fox 14 News at 6 reporter Rick DuPont begins our severe weather team coverage live from our exclusive East Side Bureau.
We just got on the scene a couple of minutes ago, and it wasn't just the rain that was a problem, it was the high winds. Close by, we had a reading of 60-mile-an-hour winds. Here's some of the damage. This is all part of a roof that actually blew off of this townhouse. We're talking about the last townhouse closest to the street over here. We can get a bird's eye view. Take a look at our mass cam shot. This entire roof, from what we were told, blew off. The people were not home at the time, but the parents of the owners came by to help clean up the mess. Back down here, here's the rest of the rubble. Again, this is all part of a roof that blew off a townhouse at least 30 or 40 feet away. Even the swamp cooler came tumbling down and landed here in this alley. Some of that roof is actually on top of the roof of the building we're looking at now. So nobody was hurt as far as we know, but there was a lot of damage to this building, to the walls and the windows, and of course there's going to be a lot to clean up. Let's take a look at some video that was shot maybe a half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. The east side got pummeled pretty hard with rain. There were streets that were flooded. Some of them got blocked off. Some of them didn't get blocked off in time, and a few cars got stuck. Even a big white van with big tires on it got stuck, believe it or not. People are trying to make their way through that. Back out here, let me show you what 60-mile-an-hour winds can do. If you take a look at the outline of this dumpster down here, there was a dumpster here before this wind and rainstorm. That dumpster actually blew all the way down here. You're looking at it way down there. That's the dumpster. It blew about 30 or 40 feet. Luckily, nobody was hurt. There were no cars in the way at the time. So that's what 60-mile-an-hour winds can do. Tonight at 9 o'clock, we speak to people that saw the whole thing, couldn't believe what hit them. Reporting live from our exclusive East Side Bureau, Rick DuPont, K-Fox 14 News at 6.
Remember, when storms hit your neighborhood, stay safe. And if you take pictures or video, upload those images to our website, kfoxicespot.com. People send in a lot of pictures of today's severe weather, and you can see them at the end of each segment throughout this newscast. Now let's get the latest on these storms from Chief Meteorologist Sandra Diaz in our K-Fox 14 Severe Weather Center.
Well, let's take a look at the latest on our Doppler radar. I'm glad to report that the showers are now diminishing across El Paso County after a very rough day. We still have some showers, though, up in the Las Cruces area, but those are light to moderate. Take a look at our weather nets because, just as Rick mentioned, a 60-mile-per-hour wind was captured out at Fred Loya this afternoon as the storms were swinging through. In Las Cruces, they were up to 32 miles per hour, but the most accumulation came out of household furniture at 71/100ths of an inch, 7/10ths of an inch at Fred Loya. Nothing in the rain buckets here across Las Cruces, but our rain chances are still in the forecast tonight. I'll tell you all about that later in the newscast. John?
Thanks, Sandra. El Paso police are looking for the suspect who shot 2 men outside a West Side bar overnight. He shot the man in the Cincinnati Entertainment District just after 1 in the morning. One of the victims is a Fort Bliss soldier. Police say their injuries are not life-threatening. But a business owner tells K-Fox 14 this latest violence here has her worried.
It was kind of scary. It was, it's intimidating.
El Paso police say they're looking for a single suspect in the shooting who ran away. If you know who he is, you can leave information anonymously with El Paso Crime Stoppers at 566-8477. A K-Fox 14 viewer shows us the crime scene from her point of view. Samantha Chacon snapped this photo as paramedics arrived on the scene of that shooting early this morning. Again, the place to send photos or video is kfoxicespot.com.
Well, a grand jury indicts a prominent El Paso landowner in a deadly hit-and-run. 55-year-old William, or Billy, Abraham was indicted on intoxicated manslaughter charges. His properties are worth millions. K-Fox 14 was on the scene July 21st of last year, just after a reportedly drunken Abraham hit and killed a pedestrian on Pisano Drive and then left the scene. Border Patrol agents witnessed that crash and joined in the pursuit, catching him about 5 miles later. An El Paso man is accused of assaulting an 82-year-old in a fit of road rage. James Matzler is under arrest for allegedly beating that elderly man in a West Side parking lot last February. Matzler is charged with injury to the elderly.
More charges could be possible in a botched burglary in Las Cruces. Yesterday at 6, we reported how a homeowner near the Las Cruces Country Club opened fire on 3 burglars in his home. He hasn't been charged, but Las Cruces police say they're still investigating. The one suspect shot by the homeowner, Juan Carlos Lopez, was released by University Medical Center and immediately arrested.
Susquehanna County is reaching out to more victims of crimes. The Victims Assistance Hotline used to be limited to domestic abuse, but now any crime victim can call. Victim advocates are going to be answering questions and hopefully easing fears about reporting crimes. That hotline is available 7 days a week. The number right there on your screen, 575-647-8553. A man missing from Las Cruces is found in Alamogordo. Daniel Flores was found about 75 miles from where he disappeared. The 32-year-old has medical conditions requiring constant treatment. Flores is originally from Alamogordo. He disappeared Tuesday from his caregiver's home in Las Cruces. Well, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office has a new way to get rid of confiscated drugs fast. Check out the incinerator. The giant contraption has the ability to burn 500 pounds of drugs per hour. Well, today the sheriff gave KFOX 14 a look at how it works. Hundreds of pounds of marijuana were placed inside that burner, and with the push of just a couple of buttons, intense flames turned the pot into piles of ash.
We used to go out into to the desert and dig a hole, put the drugs in there and burn it there. But clearly, because of environmental concerns, that's not feasible to do.
Well, the sheriff says both federal and state environmental agencies are giving the new burner the stamp of approval. $160,000 of confiscated drug money was used to pay for that incinerator.
Public health leaders come together to work on improving life in El Paso area colonias. UTEP is teaming up with the Pan American Health Organization to develop a research agenda to tackle water, sanitation, and other public health issues in colonias.
We're anticipating that some federal money will be made available through competitive grant processes that we might be able to apply for to do some of this kind of work that is so needed.
The research could lead to changes in government policy that could then benefit people who live in colonias. More fallout from February's deep freeze. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission issues its final report on how local utilities responded. A task force concludes El Paso Electric could have done a better job of handling the record cold snap and avoided all the power outages that affected residents for several days.
I think they recognize that if this event wasn't unprecedented, it was very close to being. And we all need to learn from it to make sure that we don't have recurrences of the kinds of outages that we had.
KIP says El Paso Electric is spending $1 million to better insulate their plants to handle temperatures as low as 10 below zero. They hope to have the project completed by the time this winter arrives this year.
The blistering Texas drought is causing a record $5.2 billion in crop and livestock losses. Now, we've been following the local impact for months now. Livestock losses alone are $2 billion, with crop losses making up the rest. And there could be even more losses by the time crops are actually harvested. Preseason professional football means that KFOX 14 News at 6 is actually going to be on at 5, both Thursday and Friday. Now, tomorrow, John and I will be here at 5 o'clock. At 6, you can watch the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. KFOX 14 News at 9 will immediately follow the end of that football game.
Former Dallas Cowboys star Herschel Walker provides a morale boost today for soldiers and families at Fort Bliss. The Heisman Trophy winner drew a long line of people to Freedom Crossing on post who wanted autographs and pictures with Walker.
It's awesome to come down and see the troops, and it's a morale booster for the troops and them to come, for him to come out here.
Walker, who's been open about his battles with mental illness, came to deliver a motivational address to Fort Bliss soldiers.
Well, it seems like bullies know no limits in the age of social media. The new tools parents and kids now have to protect themselves this fall.
6 weeks ago, the president went to El Paso.
Texas Governor Rick Perry on the campaign trail. Why he needs to check his calendar.
And an El Paso favorite opening up a new location. The part of town, you will find it.
Traffic isn't the only problem. Construction here on North South Drive is causing. I'll tell you what's done for local businesses. Coming up next on KFOX 14 News at 6. Coverage you can count on.